Hey, this is Manny Moonraker here, and we are here for episode number 97. It's live, and you're here for some good information. But let's get the music going. Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 97, and we are here for what we've been waiting for some time, and that is the co-host contest winner. Billy is with us, and he is here to share what he's so far gathered from the text that he won. Billy, welcome back.
Manny, this is Sean Connery. I had to steal the phone from Billy for a minute just to tell you how much I like your show.
Well, thank you, Sean. Didn't you die recently, or is he still alive?
No, I think I'm still breathing at the moment, but I just went to Schlotsky's and got a sandwich.
Nice, love it. So, Billy, okay, are you excited?
I'll give the phone back to Billy. Hold on a second. Manny, what's going on?
What's going on, Billy? Tell Sean that we're going to do an episode just for him.
I can get him back on anytime. He's a good friend of mine.
Oh, he's fantastic. Love the movies. Total ladies man.
Yeah, so he said he prefers his women shaven, not furred.
Right. Especially not shaken. We're back now with you, and I have been waiting for this because you are going to give us that blue-collar perspective on Greer's work, and I think a lot of people are going to be excited about this.
Yeah, it's been kind of a fun read, kind of a boring read at times, but there's definitely some good information in there, and I'm ready to go over it with you. So
the first thing I want to do is say what's up to Jeff. Jeff is in the Spreaker chat box saying hello. Hey. What's up, Jeff? And for those of you who don't know, when we have a live episode, you can chat with us live, send questions. You can even call in if you want to. But if you go to Spreaker.com and you find UFO Buster Radio, you can go in the chat box and put in some comments, and we can read them on the air. If you have questions, we'll talk about those too. So now, Billy, before we get started, I wanted to kind of go over a little tidbits in the history of Greer.
Yeah.
Just as a person. So Stephen Macon Greer, as he was born, as he was christened back in the day, was born June 28th, 1955. And he is officially a retired physician. As you know, in all of his documentary, he mentions how he was an emergency room physician, and he gave that all up to chase down E.T.
Yep.
So back in, back in 1990, Greer started the Center for Study of Extraterrestrial Intelligence, or what we know as today as CSETI.
Right.
Now, something new that I had no idea had happened is that apparently when he was 8 years old, Greer saw a UFO at close range, and apparently that stuck with him all the way up until now.
Right. He was out with his grandparents or something like that and had his first experience.
And I guess that's what's driving him right now, right? But as you've seen and I have seen from Greer, there's like two sides of him, and it's really weird.
Yeah, it is really strange. I mean, like I said before, I kind of fell in love with the guy when I first started looking into him and looking into what he did for the UFO community, bringing all the people to Congress to actually testify. I mean, that's something that was never done before, and something that I think we really needed. I mean, that brings a lot of credibility to the subject when you have people like that speaking and putting their careers on the line and joining up with him and believing in his movement. So yeah, he's definitely done some good things for us, and I think he's done some really shitty things also. But like you say, he's got two sides to him, which I think everybody probably does.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, some of the things that Billy was talking about was when he had like Edgar Mitchell and some retired Congress people come together to talk about the UFO situation. And to be honest, yeah, I mean, he's done some good things. And like I was talking to Billy right before we came on, I actually saw the film Unacknowledged. So before we get into the text, what was your take on Unacknowledged, Billy?
You know, we kind of went over this before, and it's portrayed in the book also. It's a whole lot of information and stuff that he's already sold us, and it's real repetitive at times. I feel like he gets on these. He'll get a word he likes, like cabal, and just overuse the shit out of it. You know what I mean? And his fake crying on the movie. I mean, there's nothing believable about when, you know, he started bawling about things, and he wasn't even really putting tears out of his eyes, you know.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, that was like the showstopper for me. When I couldn't understand why he was crying, and then he pauses and he says he was crying because, what was it? They brought him into the conversation.
Yeah.
They made him aware of what was happening, which not really, because we still aren't aware.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, in my opinion, if there is extraterrestrial life out there, there's nobody on Earth that could stop them from letting us know that they're here if that's what they wanted, you know. And, you know, for anybody to say otherwise, or to tell us that they're definitely here when we can't see or hear or feel anything, almost, it just makes it not believable. But
so I just got a question from Jeff. He was wondering if I said retarded Congress people. Well, while we all might feel that way, no, I didn't say that. I try to stay as politically correct as possible, because some of us do give a shit sometimes. But yeah, I didn't say retarded. You know, most of them were dumbasses, but not retarded.
Yeah, we're not allowed to say that anymore anyway. So
yeah, that's not cool. You could say challenged. Challenge is good.
There you go.
Yeah, so challenge is good. So anyway, yeah, I did see the film, and I actually saw the film right after you won the contest, Billy. And yeah, that part when he was crying, I was like, crocodile tears, basically. You know what? Some people really loved it. You can hear people who actually saw the film and they did their little YouTube deals, and they've been on other podcasts, and they thought it was so genuine and so real. And I call straight up bullshit. I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, the way he was crying, it was just not believable at all to me, and it kind of turned me off on that point in the movie also.
So now you've had, let's see, how long have you been going through the text now? Has it been like almost a month and a half, maybe?
Yeah, about a month and a half or so. But, you know, like you've mentioned in the past, life gets in the way, and the chances that I have to read it are usually at the end of the night and pretty tired from the day. And some of this text is just absolutely boring, especially when he's writing. I mean, a lot of the commentary and stuff is really interesting, or not the commentary, but the testimonies from the people that he has on the book, which, you know, a lot of it is real repetitive. It's been told before. I've heard it through his videos, and through his other movies and basically everything that he's put out before. So far in the text, I really haven't came across much that I haven't heard before, which it goes back to Stephen Greer is trying to. I mean, he's making a lot of money and selling his story again and again, and I really wanted something new with the movie and with the book, and so far I really haven't seen that. And like I was telling you, you're probably better off just watching the movie than reading through all this. But there is some definitely interesting stuff. I'm to the point right now in the book where I'm about to read about the Marilyn Monroe situation, and that is something that I have been wanting to get into. So I'm excited to read that part of it.
So listen, Billy, one thing that I had a hard time trying to grasp, I cheated. I saw the film, forget, I saw it. But for people who have not kind of seen the build up to this book and the film, what exactly does he mean by unacknowledged? What is he talking about?
He's talking about basically all of the operations that the government and other kind of high-ranking companies have been into that are not really recognized by the government, even though a lot of them are government operations and documents and stuff like that basically are unacknowledged by the people that need to acknowledge them, which, the president and the government in general. It's unacknowledged as far as the people know exactly what's going on in the UFO community, ufology in general.
So a lot of that he's talking about is the super secret, covert, dark government, secret military craziness.
Right.
Yeah, where all the missing money goes.
Yeah, exactly. And he calls it a cabal, or he gets on those. He finds a word and likes it, and then ends up using it 100 times in each of his videos and books. And I mean, I've seen the word probably 10 times throughout the first half of the book, and it kind of gets annoying to me. But
so let me just say what's up to Zachariah. Welcome aboard, Zach. And he was telling me the audio right now is coming in pretty good. Thanks a lot, Jeff. So anyway, here's the thing about Stephen Greer, and I think that someone that is looking at his stuff from a blue-collar perspective can, sometimes get really caught up on the magnificence of what he's trying to say. So you're halfway through the book now, and I know you've had some previous experience with Greer and some of the other nonsense he's put out there. But if you were looking at this for the first time, does he sell you on anything halfway into the text?
No, definitely not. And I mean, there's nothing that anybody's completely sold me on it as far as the information that we've gotten in the ufology community. And like I said, a lot of it is real repetitive. The testimonials are kind of the main selling point to me. I don't necessarily say that I believe everything everyone says in these, but these are high-ranking officials and people that have a lot to lose and coming forward and telling their stories. And for some reason, they trust Greer with this information, and he's actually putting a lot of it out to us. So I am definitely thankful for that, and it is really, really interesting. Some of the stuff they're talking about, the encounters that they've had with extraterrestrial spacecrafts and actual extraterrestrial bodies and beings and stuff like that. It's really mind blowing, and I'd love to believe all of it, but until something's in front of my face, I'm just one of those people that doesn't believe it until he sees it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? A lot of times I think that Stephen Greer, he's like the Magic Mike of ufology.
Yeah.
because he just brings everyone in. And it is so weird how people just flock to him to give him information, and he, of course, he puts it out there and he makes his money. But is there one testimony there that you think was really pivotal in proving M Greer's point?
The ones that I'm drawn to the most, and there's I don't know exactly how many. There's quite a few testimonies in here from Philip Corso. I believe senior and junior are in this book. But Philip Corso wrote a book called The Day After Roswell, which I actually received in the mail right after I did my Roswell spiel for you. And I haven't got to get into that book yet. As soon as I'm done with this one, I'm going to start reading that one. But some of the testimonials that he's talking about, I mean, he's saying that he's came into contact and had interactions with extraterrestrials, and to me that stuff is mind blowing. And he was a colonel, I believe, of some way high rank, and it just, somebody like that coming forward and talking, and he wrote that book, I think, months before he died, and didn't want it released until, and so there's a couple testimonies in here actually from people that didn't want their testimonies released until after they were gone, just so they probably didn't, they didn't want to deal with the backlash of saying things like this, and they're going to put the information out, and whoever wants to read it and believe it and take it as they will is going to, which, I mean, in my opinion, is an amazing thing. I love hearing stories from people. Myself, I've never seen anything that made me absolutely believe that there's life out there. Life that's visiting us anyway. I do absolutely believe that there's life on other planets, but the sheer distance of getting to any of it is mind-boggling. So
here's a question for you. And as a matter of fact, here's a question for anyone in the chat box. You can answer anytime during this broadcast. And that is, I recently listened to someone who was covering one of these deathbed confessions. Mm-hmm. And their take on it was that it is an act of bravery and one of the most amazing things that anyone could ever do. As someone who is reading through this, do you feel that way?
Yeah, I do. It seems like it's a lot more powerful if you can hear it from the horse's mouth and be able to ask these people questions for them to be able to back up their statements and what's going on. The kind of things they're saying, I think it's a really good thing, but it would do us a lot better if they stayed around and did these testimonials and did stuff to let us know that there really is something going on and could back it up. But it's definitely interesting to hear, and I recommend that anybody that does have a story comes forward and lets people know. I mean, unless you have it hardcore proof, there's really not going to be anything that comes from it besides scrutiny and stuff like that. And that's just the way people are nowadays. It seems like nobody wants to believe anything, and I guess I'm the same way to an extent.
Well, yeah. And, I've always had an issue with the deathbed confession type thing. Just because of what you just said, is that no dialogue really is going to happen after that.
Right.
It's basically what you get is what you get.
I understand both sides of it. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of backlash. You can lose your career. According to Greer, you can lose your life. I mean, he says he's been threatened by government people and people that are not so government but are beyond that, and had his life threatened. And it's a realistic thing. I mean, there's definitely something that the government is hiding from us.
Yeah, we're always under that idea that there is something more to the government than what we know. So when you're reading through this, do you really feel like Stephen Greer, is he selling anything to you? Is there anything there that you feel would change your mind towards ufology, in that you're a little bit more drawn to the fact that maybe there is something that the government is hiding in relation to UFO ET phenomena?
Well, the testimonials and stuff provide a lot of background for that type of thinking. I can't say that personally it makes me believe any more than I ever have, but he's doing a good job of bringing the stories to us and providing a lot of good information. He's got some really good stuff on free energy, and there's nothing real like this is what free energy is. He just says we have the capabilities and the knowledge to move forth in not destroying the earth in the course of our existence on the planet. And it's basically what we do. It seems like we are all kind of cancer cells on the earth, and we're killing it, and there's a better way. And that's something that I really love about what he's putting forth, is that drive to evolve and to move past the mistakes that we've made in the past as humans, and to live a better life that doesn't kill off everything we touch. I mean, I feel like we've got Space Corps now. We're about to really go out and start doing some things on other planets. But what scares me about that is, everything we touch, we start to destroy. They're going to start drilling into Mars at some point, looking for things that we don't need to be looking for, and that kind of thing. Just it really pisses me off about that I'm a human. It makes me not proud to be that way.
Yeah. Now, do you think that maybe that his adding things like free energy and things like that into the conversation is that way for him to kind of upgrade his rubber dicking game?
Well, I mean, to some people it may be. It's something that I've never really thought about before listening and reading his book, and it's now something that is definitely on my mind a lot. We go through our everyday lives, and there's nothing that you can do that doesn't somehow contribute to the death of our planet in the end. You can't drive to the store without burning gas and buying consumables that are wrapped in plastic, and it's really brought a different level of thinking on that end in my mind.
So Jeff says in the chat box that Stephen Greer is on the 8.0 on the rubber dicking index.
Yeah, I think he's about dead on that. I would probably say half and half. Like you say, he's got some really good stuff, and he's got some really bullshit stuff, and he's a borderline rubber dicker, that's for sure.
Yeah, you know what? I agree with that 100%. There's parts about, like I said, this whole him bringing people in to talk to him, that's fantastic, and it lends credibility to his, kind of like something's being amiss, something is being hidden by the government, and here are the people that are here to talk to you about it. But then when he starts talking about bringing UFOs down through meditation, that's rubber dicking 100%.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I mean, he knows all these high-ranking officials and people that know how to fly planes and know how to operate aerial things. So I mean, what's to say that he's not charging these people $6,000 or whatever it is to go out and look at a light that he just paid somebody to bring up in the sky? You know what I mean? Like, it's not anything more than the bullshit that we're fed every day, as far as the bullshit videos, fucking the original rubber dicker himself, that I just laughed when I saw those videos. It's just
are you talking about Romanek? Yeah, and it's a tough topic to talk about, folks, because Romanek has a following. You know how people say that ufology is a occult religion. You know, when you hear stories about Romanek and other folks just like him, they are so divisive in this topic, but you see where the religious occult stuff comes out because people will follow him no matter what anybody says, no matter what evidence there is. They don't give a damn. Yeah, I mean, he could be going around screwing donkeys on TV, you know, and having a little fake alien helping them out. People are still going to back him up no matter what.
Yeah, and it gets to a point where it's ridiculous. And I mean, the whole trial that he's on really, I mean, I was never into really believing anything that he had to put out there, but it was interesting. I like watching things like that. But you know, as soon as he got put on trial for that, for a lot of people and for myself, that's not a subject you want to fuck around with. I mean, it's a really serious subject, and it's something that really humanity should have no part in, is messing with children.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Kudos to his attorney for not talking about ufology during the case, because it's stupid. Her idea, which is Lisa Romanek, to try to say that this was all about ufology. No, it's about someone who has a real freaking damn problem, needs psychological help, and should spend some time behind jail to think about all the bullshit he did. Yeah,
and you know, he meets up with the right or wrong people, however you want to look at it. He's not going to get out of jail alive.
Or he's going to be doing a lot of other activities that he's not used to.
Yeah, and you know, something that I was kind of thinking about is you know, I guess he got in trouble for this by the Homeland Security, right?
Right.
And you know, maybe it's kind of a weird thought, but maybe they were doing that on purpose just to get themselves a shitload of publicity, and you know, he's going to find out real quick that he did the way wrong thing if that was the case. You know, for them to actually put child porn or something on his computer in an effort to make himself more famous or infamous. People are fucked up, so
yeah, it's crazy.
I wouldn't put it past anybody, but
yeah, I mean, the whole situation is bananas, and I can understand. You know, there's plenty of stories out there about agencies being able to put through like viruses or a worm type thing, put files on your computer. But there was a couple of things that happened. Was that they had that one lady, Tammy, whatever her name is, who used to work for the Loveland Police, that actually let him know that he was being investigated, and that's when all of a sudden we have the computers being erased. My big thing has been is that your child pornography was on a thumb drive.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds to me like someone forgot to check the thumb drive.
Yeah, and you know, putting stuff on, that's a personal device that basically nobody has access. I don't know if you can get into a thumb drive through somebody else's computer. I'm not necessarily a hacker of any sort, so I don't know what you can and can't do on a computer, but he was found guilty, you know. He was put to a jury and found guilty, and like you said, this has absolutely nothing to do with ufology, and there's no reason that should be mentioned in the courtroom at all. It's a person that fucked up really bad and just happens to be acquainted with the ufology subject, and it's unfortunate for us, but it's not like people that are into child porn are of any certain type of person. They come in all shapes and sizes, and it's unfortunate for us is all I can say about it.
Yeah, people really should not. There's got to be a point where you draw the line and you don't take the shortcomings of certain people as being what you paint the entire topic with, just because some people are pervs. Yeah. So Billy, you're halfway through the text. Would you recommend this to the regular old blue collar person to read?
I mean, if Stephen Greer and his theories and philosophies and testimonies are something that really intrigue you, then yeah, I definitely would. If you're just kind of into Greer, and the things that he's doing, I would recommend just watching the movie. It's really not worth. I wouldn't say it's a waste of time to read the book, but everything that's in the book is either on this movie or in his previous movies. So, and I'm only halfway through, so I can't speak on the whole book yet. But from what I'm seeing, I wouldn't recommend it.
And you're saying the book altogether is about 240 plus pages?
Yeah, I've got it right here in front of me. Let me see exactly how many. Well, it's actually 300 and something, but the text ends at 285. So, yeah, he's definitely got some good stuff in here. And if you're real into the subject, I would definitely recommend reading it. If you're not so much, then don't waste your time. Watch the movie. Spend a couple hours out of your life and check it out. You'll see some fake crying and some some other good stuff. But
yeah, he's got to bring on the drama one way or another.
Yeah.
So we had an idea when I was talking to Billy right before we started broadcasting about the book.
Yeah, it's a really good idea.
Yeah. For all of you that listen, when Billy's done with the book, what we're planning on doing is sending the book to another listener. So I'm thinking the best way to do this, if you want to be considered to listen to this book, listen to the book, what the hell? To read the book, right? What you do is send me an email to manny@ufobusterradio.com and include your address, and we'll put you in the list, and we'll send the book out. Now, what I'm looking for is that everyone that reads it is going to sign the book somewhere. So Billy's going to
that's a really cool idea.
Yeah, so Billy, you're going to be the first one. Billy's going to autograph the book once he's done, and he'll pass it along to the next person. And we'll just keep it going until it gets back to me, and then we'll put it in a museum somewhere. I don't know. We'll put it next to those Peru mummies. I don't know.
Put it in the UFO Buster Museum.
Yeah, there you go. That's what we'll do. So, if you're an anti-rubber dicker and you would like to read this book just for the hell of it and put your name on it, let me know. Send me an email, and we'll get this started ASAP. So
awesome.
I think it's
That's
fun.
That's a good idea, Manny. I'm glad you came up with that.
I think it's cool. I think it's a cool idea. Hopefully, it doesn't get intercepted by Greer's people, those bodyguards that hold his penis at the restrooms at the conventions. Hopefully they don't intercept the book. I want people to be able to at least look at it. You don't have to read the whole text. Go through it, get what you want out of it, and then pass it on. I think it's a gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, definitely. Pass the knowledge around. If anybody that wants to read it, hit Manny up, and we'll get the book out to you.
Yeah, let's take a quick 40-second break.
Excuse me, I'm looking for Manny Moonraker. I understand you're looking for either a flying disc, cigar class shit. Now, are you looking new or used? I have both. I also have the long cigar or stogie shave, with and without air conditioning. In the sleep chambers, sleep 6 to 18, depending on the body size of your friends. I also have a medical disc and a starship, depending on your credit range. Call me, Sepsis Quirk, on your interstellar stellar, 111-419-771-2119-62387. I'll be waiting.
Okay, that was Sepsis Quark, and in case you don't know, Sepsis Quark was actually donated to us by one of my friends at the Dave in the Morning show. But I'm not going to tell you who it is. But if you guys want to check them out, they're also on Spreaker.com right now, and they play every morning at 6 a.m. It's a live show, and it's actually broadcast on radio also. So check them out, Dave in the Morning Show. It's a funny show, and it's a good thing to listen to in the morning. So we're gonna stick around on air for another 11 minutes, and we're gonna just chew the fat about ufology here with Billy. And if anybody in the chat box wants to throw something out there, let me know, and I will definitely do it. So, Billy, where do you think we can have the most impact on this topic? Because today I was thinking, for our perspective, for UFO Buster Radio, we really can't be part of the pack. We can't be part of the way things are going. We have to set ourselves apart. So what do you think? Do you have any ideas you want to share?
The best thing you can do, I think, is go outside at night or during the day, and you just keep your eyes up and look for something that is going to convince you as a person. You're not going to convince anybody else. And, like I said, the only people, or the only thing that's going to let us know that there is definitely life out there is going to be them. I mean, if they have the technology to get to our planet from wherever they may be, then they have the technology to let everybody on the planet at once know that they are here, and that either we're fucking up or we're doing all right, or they're here to fuck us up, or you know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's hard to say.
Yeah, it's really weird because, and I've seen this posted more and more every day, where people are saying, if there is intelligent life out there, and they are visiting, and they've been visiting since before the 40s, why aren't they just probing the shit out of everybody? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I came from 4.2...
Well,
what's that?
On that same note, they also have the capabilities to completely make us not know that they're here, make themselves completely invisible, and make it to where it's just a question in our minds, which seems to be what it is right now. It's not going to be up to the human race to answer that question, I don't think.
But wouldn't that trip you out if the fact is that you're basically like a herd of cattle, right? You're living the way that your farmer wants you to live. That reality, So you go to bed, you get probed, you get poked or whatever, and you wake up and you are none the wiser.
Yep. And, if they have that kind of technology, they'd be able to make us think whatever they wanted to, really. And, the theories around about them actually putting us here at some point is really intriguing to me. Imagine us as if we are the aliens, and our race is dying or something, and we send some kind of, we have the ability to send non-human things to other planets. Say we wanted to make sure that life went on after we weren't here, and we sent some kind of biological entity to another planet and knew that it would flourish at some point. And you also have to look at it, if somebody's looking down on us, or something's looking down on us, and they see the type of things that we do to each other and do to our planet, I would stay the hell away from humanity. We're destructive, we're violent, we get any glimpse of something that is interfering with our way of life, and we're going to want to shoot at it.
Right. Well, the way I look at it, too, is kind of like what you said, if you look at what humanity does to the other beings that are on this planet now, that we recognize as being part of the planet, how can we have the hubris to think that that's not happening to us in some form or way if there is other intelligent life visiting the planet?
Yeah. And we're going to have to really evolve past our violent ways and the ways that we're living our lives every day to come close to what we're imagining as an extraterrestrial visiting us. To get to that point, we really have to check ourselves and get past this way of thinking, because I mean, all we want to do is destroy. And I mean, there's a lot of fun in life and stuff, but it's hard to do anything without destroying and consuming and living the way that life. I mean, as an individual, there's nothing that we can really do to change it. We're really going to have to come together and unify. I mean, all these race problems and all the bullshit that goes on in the world is minute compared to, I mean, if you look at the size of the galaxy, and our problems are minute. We're specks of dust here, you know?
Right. Yep, I agree 100%. I mean, but you can make some exceptions, especially for rubber dickers in North Korea. But anyway, with that being said, I want to throw out an invitation to anyone out there that has any kind of a skill in videotaping, video editing, anything that we can use to create a documentary. I have some ideas for a documentary that I want to put together before the end of the year and throw it onto the UFO Buster Radio YouTube page. And it's going to be about ufology, but it's going to be an anti-established ufology, because we really want to take this in a different route. And as a matter of fact, if you have skills with a drone, absolutely, let me know. We want to put something together, and we got to go big. You got to go bigly. So you got to go big or go home.
Oh, you can't use that term, Manny. That's horrible.
I know, bigly. I like bigly. I like China. I love all of that. It's great. You know, it's.
I was laughing my ass off the other day when you did that.
Yeah,
thing.
I had that idea. It just popped in my head because, listen, whatever he's doing and whatever they're doing to him, I stay out of the whole politics thing. But the guy is freaking funny. You know, he's an old New Yorker. He doesn't give a damn. Doesn't give a shit. He says things the way he does. Doesn't matter. And Jeff said the guy is huge. He really is. So, by the way, if you guys want to interact with Billy, you're rocking it on the UBR Truth Seekers Facebook page.
Yeah, it's a fun thing to do. I've added as many friends of mine as I can that may even be remotely interested in the subject. And if you're in the group, I recommend you do the same thing. I mean, we're all here to have fun with this and really look at it from a blue collar point of view. Like I told you, I'm a body technician. I work on cars every day. I don't really have any means of pursuing ufology and any other aspect than being able to look up and check things out. I went and checked out the meteor shower in Aztec, New Mexico the other day. They put on a real cool thing, mainly for kids, but I just went out there and looked up, and they told me the direction to look, and I didn't see any shooting stars that night, but I did see some last night. And go out, and there's a lot of places that put on kind of events like that for viewing. There's nationally recognized parks that are zero light pollution, where you can really see, just get on and research those type of things and go out and look up and convince yourself one way or the other.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, talking about the space events, we got the eclipse coming up. It's around the corner on the 21st. And I do have a public service announcement I got to make. So here's the announcement. If you purchased those solar shades from, what's the name of that damn place? Amazon. Okay, how could I forget Amazon? If you purchased this solar shades from Amazon, they're giving people their money back, because if you use them on Monday the 21st, you will go blind. So apparently they had a bunch of fake ones they were selling, so they're giving people the money back. Go to Amazon.com, check out their little announcement. It's probably showing up on your local news media too. Don't use them. Don't fuck up your eyesight because some rubber dicker out there's trying to make some money.
Yeah. My best advice, and like I say, I work on cars all the time, so I have access to welding helmets at all point. And those work really good. Put them on their darkest setting, and you can look right through them. You can't look for really long, from what I remember. I know I checked one out before through my welding helmet, and those things, you will not hurt your eyes. And if they start to hurt at all, just pull it away from your face and don't look at it. But yeah, definitely be safe about it. You can really fuck your eyes up doing the wrong things. So
yeah, and some of that damage can be permanent.
Yeah, it is something you definitely need to try to check out, though. If any of you guys can get a hold of a welding helmet or something like that, then you'd be safe to look at it. But
yeah, Jeff says that Jeff says that his mom told him that he'd go blind, but it never happened. That was a different activity altogether.
Yeah, he was rubbing his dick.
Yeah, that was the early days of Jeff rubberdicking. So anyway, let me remind everyone, you can find UFO Buster Radio on Twitter at UFO Buster Radio, on Instagram at Manny Moonraker, on Facebook, the Manny Moonraker page, also the UFO Buster Radio page, and like I just mentioned, UBR Truth Seekers. You can find Jeff, you can find Billy, of course, you can find me, and a bunch of other people. And on Monday the 21st, I'm going to try my best to try to videotape this eclipse. I'm going to post it on there. If you do it and you want to share it on the UBR Truth Seekers page. I think it'll be a great event for all of us to partake in that activity. So Jeff, see, thanks a lot, Jeff. So hashtag FML. So Billy.
That's all right. Sometimes I can't remember my own name either.
Any last words, Billy? We're at 47 minutes now, and you shared a lot of good information. Zach says you did a good job. I'm sorry, I keep saying Zach. Zachariah said you did a good job in sharing basically your take on what you've read so far. Any last words for the folks?
A couple of the notes that I really didn't get to go over during our show was one of the testimonials mentioned that Roswell was hidden directly related to the happening with Orson Welles, which I mentioned before, with him doing the live radio broadcast and scaring the shit out of everybody. And that was kind of the point that I think set our government into starting to hide things from us and feeling the need to do so, because humans just weren't capable of taking that kind of knowledge in at the time. And then also one of the testimonials mentioned that in 1947, in the Four Corners area where I live, which is New Mexico, Arizona, Colorado, and Utah, that there were over 50 crashes at that time, which is really intriguing to me because I live right here. And, Aztec actually has a UFO crash site. Dulce is maybe an hour or two from me. And, this kind of stuff's really intriguing to me. So that's really all that I had that I didn't get to talk about. And, besides that, I love the show, and I look forward to it every week. So hopefully there's a lot of people out there that feel the same way.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we are getting close to a total of 100,000 downloads and plays.
Wow.
So it's right around the corner, and I'm thinking we're going to have like a big episode to celebrate that. But it's not possible without folks that enjoy the show sharing it, liking it, getting the word out, because the only way that we're going to grow this podcast beyond the usual rubberdickers you hear out there is by everyone just, sharing it with the folks. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's if you know anybody that's even remotely interested in the subject, share it with them. I mean, it's a good fun time, even on the group and listening to the show and being able to interact on live shows with the chat box. It's something I've never had experience with until this show, and I really enjoy it. So,
why, thank you. By the way, does Mr. Connery want to say goodbye?
Yeah, let me grab him. Sean. Yes, Manny.
Mr. Connery, before we get off this particular episode, I want to give you an opportunity to say something to the fans and to say goodbye. Close us out.
All right, listen, all of you out there, don't pay attention to any of these rubber-dicking cocksuckers. Just believe what you want.
Amen to that. All right, y'all, this has been episode number 47. I thank you guys for listening, and I'll be back on Monday with a UFO report. And as I say most of the time, sayonara.